What's going on to all the kings and queens out there? Welcome to another episode of the Wakanime Nation podcast. I'm your boy Hisagi, joined by my homie Hook. What's going on, player?
This mic on? It's me. It's my turn to talk. Hey, how you doing today, man? I'm just, glad, excited, elated, ready to get started. Talk about it. Let's go. What's good?
Yeah, you're a little up there. I see you're a little up
Look,
there.
I'm always up there. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I guess, and this has been once again a long time coming. We're talking about One Piece again, so
Mm.
I don't feel like I wasted my time catching up. I could participate with all you guys now, talking to all you One Piece stands, them stands out there, talking
Right,
about Luffy.
right. Today, it's about this man right here, this bad man right here, the next Pirate King right here. You know who this
Oh, you
is?
you actually got the poster. Is that the
What?
updated one?
Yeah, it's
What's
the
his?
updated one.
What's
One
the
point
bounty say?
1.5 billion berry. You know about that? You don't
Uh,
know nothing about
I
that.
see. I see.
Because first he started with a
Okay.
30 million, then they gave him the 100. They said, we're gonna put it at 300. Then after that, they put it to 4, 5, and they was like, you know what? Let's just triple it because he just keep breaking barriers, and that's what they gave him. Luffy.
His bounty right now is higher than everyone in the new generation.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's the biggest supernova out of them all.
Oh, okay.
Fresh out of the East Blue. Everybody thought it was the
Okay.
weakest, but hey, you got some of the strongest out there. I ain't gonna lie. Everybody else doing their own thing, but yeah, yeah. But
Anywho,
on this little episode here, we're trying to go over Luffy, at our One Piece 1 to 1,000, trying to show his evolution as the top tier captain or the new Pirate King. Uh, you want to start a little bit us off in the East Blue and like how you've wait first. Let's start with what do you think Luffy was as a captain? Like how would you rate him?
overall, the captain of the ship compared to who? Who am I rating him
I mean,
against
to
and
just a
comparing him to?
typical captain, like how would you think a captain would be as a person?
I'll give Luffy a 8.
A like
Yeah.
off rip, or are you just saying he grew into it?
Oh, he. I don't know. I before my 8, I would probably put him at a 7,
Mm.
and I'll give a 1 point that he grew into. For me, this is gonna be a very like simple, um, kind of explanation of Luffy and his growth because I am of the camp, if there is a camp, that feels as if Luffy hasn't really even grown that much. But I don't want y'all stands to come after me. That's not the type of heat that I want right now in my life. But
I mean,
what was that?
initially, I thought Luffy was more of like a low end captain, like he was just like a wild gun, like he just did whatever he wanted. And in the first couple, like Romance Dawn, Orange Town, and then Syrville, he was just sort of like just fighting, like run of the mill stuff. And then
I'm
once he
confused.
what?
When has Luffy stopped being what you just said,
I mean,
like doing whatever he wanted?
I mean, once we got to Arlong Park, he was like, you know what? I need my navigator back. He did what he needed to do as a captain. He stepped up and defeated Arlong. Like,
Right, but come on now,
I
Luke.
mean, as a captain,
Walk,
the captain's supposed to lead. He's supposed to be the strongest. He's supposed to tell everybody what, like, not tell everybody, but he's supposed to be able to make everyone else's dream come to true. Like, if everybody can have their dream while they're next to the Pirate King, what type of Pirate King is it? Exactly. Think about that. That was deep right there.
no, you know what? I'll walk me through a Hook.
I'm just
I'm
saying.
failing to understand Luffy's growth as a character
I mean,
in
you don't
this
feel like
One
he's
Piece
had growth
universe.
at all because even in Log Time when he was
Well,
about to die and he was happy with that. What?
well. I will say I do think there were some moments.
Mm.
They don't come often, but when
I
they do
mean,
come,
Luffy's a happy-go-lucky guy, and when the time comes for him to show what he is, then he does it. I mean, there's been times when he's been caught, off guard, and he's had to come off the rebound, but still, who hasn't?
so what do you define as growth as for a character?
Growth is allowing your crew to fall into their roles, and everybody feels safe underneath that.
Okay.
And That's why you saw him show who he was in Arlong Park, because Nami, no matter how happy she was with them, she had to leave because she was in fear of her life, her town's life, and even the crew members that she was with, because she was like, I can't stay here because then soon Arlong's gonna come looking for me. And that's when Luffy stepped up and said, all right, I'll be the strong person to, hold it down and let you be free and do what you want.
Okay. So so far you gave two
Right.
examples. The first one was Arlong Park, which
Mhm.
I get it. I that your point there is that Luffy, he's allowing his crew to grow into or come into their own,
Right.
I guess. And then
Yes.
you talk about Logtown.
Yeah.
So what about Logtown? I guess
Logtown.
so.
I mean, in Lockdown, it wasn't really much action, but at the end, as a captain, he had his enemies, and he was ready to die for it. He showed he was dying, and he wasn't show. It didn't show that he was weak to his will. Like when you saw him battle on the Baratier fighting Don Krieg, like he didn't falter. In Arlong Park, he didn't falter, and then in Logtown, when he was really about to be killed, he was still like whatever. He was like, I mean, if this is what it takes to be the Pirate King, and this is what the consequences of fighting these people, he was happy with it. Even though he got a little help from Dragon, like he's shown that his resolve was something that couldn't be, taken away from him.
Got it. Okay.
So then, with all that, they went to the Grand Line, and like, I mean, the Grand Line was pretty long so far, but like,
Pretty
do,
long.
do you? I mean, would you like to highlight any possible growth, or when do you feel like Luffy started showing his growth as a captain?
So personally, I don't going through the first part of One Piece, which is the East Blue and the first half of the Grand Line.
Mm.
I honestly didn't think there were a lot of moments where Luffy grown as a character. And I don't want to sound blasphemous or offensive to the fan base
You're doing a
that
good
thinks,
job.
oh my God, this story is amazing. But Luffy's growth is not one of the amazing points of the story. Luffy, we were introduced to him, what, Romance Dawn or whatever. So Luffy from Romance Dawn, in my opinion, is the same Luffy in Alabaster. There's no difference in who he is as a character in this story.
Right.
We what I mean, we find out more layers about him, but nothing changes as far as his character is concerned. He's the captain of the Straw Hat Pirates. He sets out on this voyage because he has a very specific image in his mind for his crew. So his adventure, he's like, I want to find my crew and I want them to fulfill these roles. Typical businessman. And also, he's like, if anyone gets in my way or try to stops me from being the Pirate King, I'm gonna fight them and I'm gonna beat them up.
Right.
And that's kind of like what it is. And if anyone in my crew is like in danger or needs my help, I'm gonna be there for them as the captain. And that's just Luffy's story. That's who Luffy is. I don't see them being like much to him outside of that. But to get back and answer your question directly, the little growth that I did see came during the Water 7 Indies lobby arc.
Oh, really?
That was that was the first moment that I think Luffy had to actually make a tough decision for his crew when they had to say goodbye to the Going Merry, and he had a internal dispute with Usopp. Like I thought that was pretty well, I guess explained or fleshed out. And one of the things I liked about that arc is Luffy had to come to terms with his role and what it meant for him to be as a captain, and how he can't just accept insubordination, which is what happened with Usopp.
Right.
Usopp, Usopp went rogue. He became he became basically a villain. Although he's their friend, like and then I loved how Zoro had to like stress to Luffy as well as Nami and everyone else. Like this is not a game. What they're doing, people die on the Grand Line, people die. And that was like a serious moment for Luffy's character. And although it hurt him, they were at a point where they were about to peace out to Usopp until Usopp came crying like on his knees, apologizing to Luffy. So I thought that was a moment of like growth in his character. It was slight, but it was there. Um,
I mean, for me, I guess my thought of him being captain came a little bit earlier, like in the Jaya arc. Like in the first couple arcs, he took that point of like, hey, yeah, I need to fight this guy. This guy's trying to stop what I'm doing. Like people are coming to him to fight. But once he hit that Jaya arc, like that's when like he was starting to give out orders, and like even until you get to Water Seven, like people were. I wouldn't say his crew was trying to tell him what to and what not to do, but they were sort of like not everybody was on the same accord. Like, hey, he's the captain. Like, we got to follow orders. Like, people would semi question him or question his thought. But at the end of the day, other people in the crew were like, well, he's the captain. We got to do what he got to say. So in Jaya, you see where like Luffy gives out, which I feel like is a strong order. When he was fighting Zoro, he was like, you know what, Zoro, in this fight, we're not gonna fight back. There's no point in us fighting. Like, there's nothing to gain here. We are right. We know we're right. And these people that are unable to dream, what are we gonna do? Like they've already lost. They can't be the Pirate King if you can't dream. So that was what I thought was him being like some former captain and like it's Skypiea. You know, he does what he did. He even though he wasn't there at the beginning, and he sort of did upon his own will. And then even in Long Ring Long Land, like you see little bits and pieces when he fought Aokiji. I don't want to get this wrong because you be ready to correct me when I'm wrong, and you be like, I
hmm
thought you knew. So yeah, even
hmm
fighting Aokiji when Robin got frozen, like Luffy stepped up. He's like, well, I got to fight. I have to protect my crew, and that's his job as a captain was to protect his crew, even if it might have cost him his own life. Like he knew that his importance was having his two right hand men take care of Robin to so that they can defrost.
Well, I'm sorry, Mister One Piece Stan, but how is that different from like him stepping up to protect his Robin from Aokiji? How is that different from him stepping up to protect Nami from Arlong?
It was a little bit different because at least in Arlong, like it wasn't like certain death. Like this here was like a Marine, like the top of the top. Like there was a good chance that he would die. Like in Arlong Park, like I don't think he ever feared the thought of death. Because when he fought Don Krieg, he didn't fear death. Like he was just like, I'm gonna do my thing. But in Long Ring Long Land, Aokiji pointed out, like, hey, this is getting to the point where like this is where y'all have to get serious. Because if not, and y'all don't have y'all like roles and everything, y'all are gonna break up and then it's not gonna be much of a crew. Y'all are gonna lose
But I
immensely.
would I would respond to that by saying even in when he fought Aokiji, Luffy didn't fear death anyways. I remember you started this thing off by referring me to Logtown. And the whole point of Logtown was showing how like Luffy lived his life to the fullest.
Right.
He didn't fear death. That whole if I die, I die. Just chop off my head thing. Like he didn't fear death. He lived his life to the fullest.
But
Like
but the thing is with
what?
this, which is different, is the fact that he was putting his life on the line for someone else. Because Aokiji was planning on taking Robin with him no matter what. So and him Luffy stepping in, it prevented Robin from being taken. Like in Logtown, it was just like, okay, yeah, if he dies, he dies. Like it's not like his crew was like right there about to die with him. He was there by himself, sort of like they were in the area, but they weren't like right there being killed along with them. Like in Long Ring Long Land, Nami was gonna get taken. Like Aokiji was like, I could let y'all live, but she has to come with me.
I
And
see.
Luffy sat there and bought time. Was like, I got to buy some time just so they can get Robin onto the ship, and then for him to like lose interest because he was like, since y'all took care of Crocodile, like I'll give y'all one. Like this is your one favor. But
I see. So basically, you're saying that the difference is that all of those enemies Luffy stepped up and fought. Apart from Aokiji, Luffy in his mind thought he at least had a chance to come out and win. But fighting Aokiji, it felt like he knew it was like certain death, but he was willing to put it on the line for his crew.
right.
Okay, I got it. I'll take that.
You'll take that. I appreciate that. Appreciate
I'll
that.
take that.
Because like
But
even in your Water Seven part, like that fight, like Luffy versus Usopp, like that was a big thing. Like insubordination was a big thing, and
it,
it was the point where
it
Luffy was like, I got to tighten the reins on this because if everybody thinks this, and that's what like he was like, man, because even like he had to be stuck. He was about to say like, hey, if you don't want to follow what I have to say, you could just leave Sanji. I mean, leave Usopp until Sanji interfered and took that out and stopped him from saying that. But yeah, you were about to say something.
no, I thought that was once again, I thought that was a very important moment. Like we decided to do this. You wanted to talk about Luffy's growth into his role as captain from chapter 1 and 1000. And I think that was a extremely pivotal moment because we see other captains and how they deal with insubordination. Other captains kill their crewmates for insubordination. Other captains allow like their crewmates to go free and they deal with them personally. We see that with the whole white beard blackbeard thing. Um, Granted, the way that kind of spiraled out of control, it became a mess. But we see that a running theme throughout the pirate world that there's different ways in which different captains, including Big Mom and the others, deal with insubordination. And it was interesting to see Luffy take this seriously because initially he was kind of I it felt like Luffy was it was just gonna be a game to him. And he was gonna accept Usopp back, no problem, until that serious conversation he had with Zoro.
Yeah.
Um so that was cool. Apart from that though, I didn't think there was any other development until we got to Sabaody Archipelago. So
Dang. So
I have
you don't
nothing
think
to
in
say.
Enies lobby when like he was like, let's burn that. So he told Usopp to burn down the flag to show that his declaration against like, against the whole world just for his crew. That was
So
nothing. We just gonna skip past that like that was nothing.
I don't think that was development.
You don't think that?
Like it was a it was flashy. Wow, it was flashy. But deciding to be a pirate in general was Luffy saying he was an enemy of the Navy or the world government
Yeah, but like
in and of itself.
how you said, there's different versions of being an enemy. Like some people are like peaceful pirates, which you label as Luffy and Shanks, and some people are like, you know, these pirates that are like killing everybody, like Kaido and Big Mom and Kid. Like, there's a differentiation. That's why the bounties they're different from time to time. And so you're saying that him showing that flash move, saying like, "Hey, like if you mess with my crew, we'll go against everybody." You don't think that's a big showing of being a captain?
No. It to me it there's nothing I didn't learn anything different from that Luffy that had Sniper King shoot the flag or whatever. There was nothing different from that Luffy versus the Luffy in Logtown, the Luffy in Arlong Park. Like
Mm.
there was no the Luffy that fought against Aokiji to save Robin. Like there was you mess with my friends, you get in the business. There's no difference, no growth. He's the same
I mean,
old
he took
Luffy.
a large defeat and came back and was like, I got to do what I got to do."
It's the same Luffy to me.
Okay,
No
okay,
change.
okay.
Until we got to Sabaody.
Mm.
Before Sabaody, if you have any other
No,
things,
because I'm not really a fan of Thriller Bark. Like that was a long arc, and it is what it is. But and since
completely
Sabaody, yeah, that
unnecessary.
man, like he that's when he saw his real first defeat. Like even though he lost like these fights against Aokiji and stuff, like losing your crewmates and you're helpless, like that was something. Like I think you highlighted it the most, like when he punched the dragon for trying to buy his friend Cammy and things like that. Like it was a big thing. Do you want to talk about it a little bit? Because I know you're more, you know, I'm gonna let you talk about the points you know, because you.
You got jokes. I loved Sabaody Archipelago. Um and one of the reasons or why I love Sabaody is because Luffy's development from the first half of the Grand Line, East Blue, I didn't know what Luffy was really afraid of, to be honest with you. I just knew that Luffy, he wasn't afraid of death, which is what scares most people. Most people are scared of dying. Most people are scared of being erased from this world. Um, Robin, we knew when Robin at Andy's lobby when she was taken and she was going to sacrifice herself for the crew, she had this huge moment where she's crying in tears, and Luffy's like, "Robin, what do you want? What do you want?" And she's like, "Luffy, I want to live." So like that's a to me, I didn't know what Luffy as a character was afraid of. I knew about other people. I didn't know Luffy until we got to Sabaody Archipelago. It became more clear that the one thing Luffy is scared of is to losing these relationships and these bonds that he's formed with his crew. That was made apparent when he got into that fight with Kizaru, as well as the guy with the pawpaw fruit. Kuma when
Okay,
he got
I
into
was
the
gonna let
fight.
you drown. I was like, okay, let's see, let's go.
No, I know some of these characters, but yeah,
Barely, barely.
he got into the fight with Kuma and Kizaru, and that was a huge moment. Once again, Luffy is willing to fight for his crew, and he'll fight anybody. But in that moment, after all these fights we saw Luffy have with Arlong and Crocodile, the guy, what is his name, Inaru or whatever,
Enel,
the
yeah, he goes Enel or Enaru. One of the two.
yeah,
You were right though. I'll let you get that one. You're doing pretty well today.
got
Tomorrow you
it,
might
got it,
mess
got it.
up, but hey, you on a roll right now. Keep it going.
I really don't like you. But yeah, yeah, he all these fights with these guys. And then we get to Saba Odi and he tells his crew, run. Like he tells them, run. We can't win this fight. Everybody run and we'll meet up at the ship. Everyone scatters. The difference between fighting Kizaru and Kuma versus fighting Aokiji, he fought like Aokiji to help the crew, everybody escape and get away. In this fight, he said everybody just scatter and run and like we just gotta retreat. And what he witnessed was like a tragic defeat. Everyone was taken away from him. He didn't know what happened at the time. He just knew his crew disappeared one by one. I don't advocate watching the actual anime for One Piece because the pacing is extremely slow. But this arc, I think it is essential. It is essential to actually watch the anime because that last segment when each and every one of them like basically got and Luffy's that pain, Luffy has to experience it, the soundtrack playing in the background, the trauma, it was just amazing. It was once again peak One Piece content for me. So yeah, I think Luffy actually does get some development in this arc. I liked it. Prior to this, I didn't think there was much outside of what we talked about in Water 7 and Indy's Lobby. But yeah, this was a really, I think, pivotal moment in Luffy's growth.
I mean, I've never had a point where I've completely agreed with you like this. So yeah, I'm gonna roll with that. What you said was right on point. Like normally you be like hitting missing marks, but yeah, it's a rare moment. But
Wow.
did you think anywhere further down during this before the red line there was any more of showing Luffy as a captain?
Not as a uh
I mean,
I think
I mean, one point is in Marineford where he like initially broke down seeing Ace die and said, "I just wasn't strong enough." I'm just like,
yeah, I
dang.
was gonna say basically Impel Down, it was typical Luffy. We need to sneak out and save my somebody I care about, which is Ace. Marineford and the post-war or whatever, right after that, there was some development because I had never seen Luffy that emotionally like scarred. I felt like those Luffy was going through it. That whole from Saba Odi to basically when they met up after the time skip, emotionally, Luffy was going through it. He was getting the hell beat out of him. He took
Dang.
so many L's. He took a lot of L's. Um, yeah. So I think those, I guess, 3 or 4 arcs sandwiched together, there was a good amount of growth with Luffy's character. I enjoyed it. We didn't prior to that, we didn't get much growth with him at all, which it, I don't know if I'm disappointed or not, but I'm
I
just
mean,
like,
at the
damn,
beginning, he
that's
was
like
just getting
four.
his crew together. He was like, "I need to get my main crew
uh,
members,"
I guess, but
and
that's
he's
like
still picking up
500
crew
chap.
members.
That's 500 chapters.
You already read through that far. You wasn't gonna stop there. Once you hit Jaya and probably Water 7, you was hooked. You was like, okay, we actually invested in this now.
I'm like, that's like 500 chapters of your life you invested. You just now getting a lot of development for the
Didn't
main
you do that?
character.
Didn't you do it in like a month, right? You did it in a month.
No, it took like a month and a half.
Oh, to get all the way through, or just to get to that point?
Oh, to get to that point, it took a month.
Oh, okay. I mean,
That half a month was the rest of the series,
so once
but
you hit
it
that
took
point, you was like, I can breeze through this. Now I got to know what's happening.
right. It took that first part of the Grand Line was prior everything prior to Water 7 was tough to be.
Dang.
So yeah.
Well, at least during the time skip, he did his little thing, trained up, and then he came back to pick up his crew 2 years later.
Right. Yep. That was I like that. I like the whole plan he came up with. I thought where basically he told everyone to train. I like that. And even coming back from the time skip, I do say I will say I liked how Oda basically kept the core Luffy's character the same. He was still that like silly type of kind of stupid shonen character.
Mm.
However, of course, he leveled up
A
in terms
lot.
of his fighting ability and what he can do. Your boy came back with hockey this time, so I
He
mean that was
finally
cool,
he finally learned it. Instead of randomly using it every once in a while, he was like, "All right, let me use it with a purpose."
right?
He learned from Rayleigh, but he didn't perfect it. He's still perfecting it to this day, but it's a stepping stone that he's taken on.
And before we move on, let me just say this: when I talk about growth, I am completely separating fighting ability from like actual like emotional and mental growth as a character. Because fighting ability, he grows throughout the series.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Like
that's part of being a captain is being one of the strongest, though. Like, you can't be a captain and not be the strongest. How many captains that's like second or third best? How many teams where like how many sports teams that's like the strongest player is in the main like focal point?
I guess that's a valid point.
I mean, very valid. That's why in Fishman Island, like he stepped his captain level up even more when he was like, you know what, I'm gonna take this little place here. This is gonna be my one of my guarded territories, and I'm just like, dang,
So I might have missed it. I'm trying to think now. Is did he actually make Fishman Island his
yeah,
territory, or he
yeah.
just told Big Mom that
That's his
you know?
territory. That's his territory. He took that from Big Mom, gave her that tomato bako box, and just told her, hey, don't worry about the candy no more. This is me. This is under my control. And Big Mom been haunting him ever since.
Got it. So my question to you now is: we did he went from Fishman Island, and then we didn't really encounter Big Mom until Whole Cake, which in between there were probably like what 3 arcs.
Yeah.
Do you think there was how much growth do you think we saw
I mean,
between the two?
I feel like Punk Hazard was the intro to Law arc. Like that was like we got Law in there when it was Law versus Virgo, which was a big fight, and then Dressrosa was sort of like Law's main arc. Like even though Luffy took on Dofi, it's mainly Law's spot because that was his old crew who killed his best friend. So I don't think there was much growth per se. Strength wise, he got Gear 4, which nobody was able to hold up with, stay up with him with. But I don't think there was much growth until about Whole Cake arc because that's when he had to go and get Sanji, and that's when he showed like the faith in his crew because like he knew like until Sanji comes back, I'm not moving from this spot because he can't make it as a pirate king if he doesn't have Sanji next to him.
I guess. Yeah, Whole Cake Island. I don't once again I don't want to sound blasphemous,
Mm.
but
You do it a lot though. You do it.
Whole Cake Island was cool. So you know Bleach. You remember Bleach,
Yeah.
the other of the big three. That's at the bottom. But Bleach, I felt like Bleach repeated stories, but
Are
just
you sure? Because he was a Shinigami, a Stern Ritter, Hollow, Quincy. Like he was everything. I was like, how did he? And they only had
yeah,
like three whole locations. It was the city, the Serite, and that was
yeah,
it. And
yeah,
Hueco like there wasn't much there.
yeah. But I felt like they repeated stories because like we first got like Ichigo met Rukia, she gets kidnapped, he goes into the Soul Society to rescue her. Then I feel like we got the same exact story. Um Basically Ichigo, he grows some more or Hime gets kidnapped. He goes inside of Heko Mundo, has to rescue her. Like I feel like that, and those are two big chunks of Bleach, and I felt like it was just a repeat storyline. When
Mm.
we got to Whole Cake Island, I felt like it was a repeat
You think so?
of yes,
I mean, the
like
mission of
Nami,
itself was completely different. It wasn't to beat anybody. It was just to bring Sanji back. And Sanji
right?
wasn't
So
leaving to stay away. He was leaving to take care of the Big Mom situation with his family. and became more than he could handle, and that's when Luffy stepped in.
Right. So Arlong Park, Nami leaves to take care of the situation with her family and the Arlong Pirates or whatever they're called. And Luffy goes with his crew to get Nami and everybody else back.
Hmm.
And then we get the situation with Annie's lobby where Robin, we think she betrays the crew, but she actually goes away to take care of her situation with the Navy and the world government. But Luffy and the crew goes and saves her and get her back. And then we get to Whole Cake Island, where Sanji basically betrays the crew the same way Nami and Robin betrayed the crew. Sanji, but he really went to take care of the situation with his family. And instead of the whole crew going this time, it was just Luffy and a few of them. But they go to Whole Cake Island to get Sanji back. So I'm not. I like it. I like it. Don't get me wrong. I like it.
Be careful
But
now. You getting dangerous. You playing with some fire right now. I don't want that to hurt you.
I'm just saying.
Say it.
I'm
Say
just
it.
saying.
Say it.
We were in Whole Cake Island, and I was just like, I remembered this feels very familiar. This feels very familiar. Although we have a emperor to see, and I love the theme.
I
It's
mean,
like
you know, there's like
really
a 10-year difference though between this, right? Like there's a accumulated amount
that's
of time.
cute. That's cute. I'm like, wow, this is like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I love this, but it just was a repeat of the same storyline that we've seen twice before. So I didn't think there was much growth with Luffy's character. Honestly, he grew in terms of his fighting ability. So if you want to say that's growth, that's growth. Yeah. But in terms of who Luffy was as a character, I didn't think we got much.
Mm.
Yeah. And now we're in Wano. What's your? I know this is your favorite arc. What
I mean,
type
it's
of
one of my
growth?
favorite. I feel like this is your favorite because it actually samurai. You like swords, you like action, and
I
there's
do.
no shortage of fight scenes here. Even though some have been skipped that we wanted to see, there's been a lot of great action and fighting. The animation has stepped up a huge chunk. Like
Right.
you wouldn't say it's close to like that Naruto level, but it's stepped up commendably.
Yeah, it would never be. There's levels to this. I think Bleach, Naruto, One Piece.
Mm.
Yeah, there's levels to this. But yeah, what type of growth do you think has been experienced throughout, like, I guess Wayne or maybe Whole Cake? Like, break it down. Do you think there was some? Am I being disrespectful? Was there some growth in Whole Cake Island?
I mean,
I just want to make
Luffy's
sure.
handling his crew, just getting things back on point and finishing his deal with that he made with Zoe, like to get like to take care of Kaido. Even though he
Okay.
lost, he's trained up a bit, which part of his strength, like he can't always win. Like I think this is a fair anime where like Luffy doesn't always win. Luffy's faced a lot of defeats, came back for more and won. But just as a captain, like I feel like he's taking his part. He's learning. He's trying to be more. He's saying his crew has their own roles which they have to fill. Like ever since Water 7, Luffy's made it firm and clear that everybody has their role. Everybody has to do their own thing, and he doesn't
That
worry
is
about his own. He's handling his part as a crew, as taking out care of the strongest person because they have to take care of however many people. Like in Dressrosa, Luffy got his not his crew, but his affiliates. His affiliates, even though they're not there right now. But in Wano, like Luffy knows he has a lot of people he has to take care of, and he's showing it like by taking on Kaido. Right now, he might not be doing too well right now, but still, he's trying his best. So I feel like there's growth there.
okay. Nah, that's a really valid, good point. That's good. Um, yeah, I think in Wano, Luffy's growth as I don't, but like I
A
don't know,
captain.
Luffy's not trying to do everything himself. He's trusting people
I mean, he
to
never has tried to do everything himself.
right. He's trusting characters to handle their business. I don't I really am struggling to find growth with Luffy. I'm sorry, I just am.
I'm just
I
saying
don't see it.
I think the growth in his captain, like even in Whole Cake Island, he had faith in Sanji that he would come back or that he would make sure that he was going to handle his business. But here he's in Wano. I think now that he's showing faith and he's showing like he believed in them, like he's having his crew believe in him by taking care of the strongest character in Kaido because everybody believes he's this unkillable, untouchable monster, and though we've seen Zoro do like a scratch to him, like it's on Luffy to take care, like bring it home and show his crew that he has faith that they can take care of Kaido, and that he has to do his part. His part is beating Kaido.
True. What annoyed me is that what annoyed me about Wano and Luffy's introduction in Wano, it's been a long arc but from what I can remember, everyone had an awesome plan, which was led by Law, and I think Luffy came in and messed everything up.
Yeah, I mean Luffy basically tells Law what to do. Like,
Yeah, but that's the part that I didn't really like so much about Luffy's character in terms of, and I don't know if that's like on purpose, but I think at some point there needs to be some type of maturity in terms of how like we're gonna approach situations. Like, are we really just gonna like just blow up a whole operation that everybody is working on, or are we going to try and like have some type of order or firm process to how we like handle these things or take down this emperor to see, or are we just going to barge in the front door and fight all the time? Like, that was kind of just a turn off for me because they had a good plan going and Luffy kind of just ruined everything
wait,
and didn't.
how did Luffy ruin the plan?
Like, I thought they were, my understanding is everyone was laying low. Actually, Zoro almost ruined the plan, right?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. I don't want to say nothing negative about Zoro. So
Sanji almost ruined the plan too when he turned into Sober Mask.
let's. I don't want to get into saying anything about Zoro right now
Dang.
because I
I mean,
actually think
Zoro is your favorite character. Like that's the guy you're gonna be like, well, he's a swordsman. He's supposed to have his strength.
Zoro and Law, like right there. But yeah. Apart from that, I don't have anything else to say about Luffy though.
I
Hook.
mean, other than Luffy being a great captain and he's always providing when the team needs him to. But yeah, he's doing his
Right,
thing.
doing his job.
I mean, everybody says that until something goes wrong. Like, how come Luffy wasn't there? And he's like, oh dang.
This is, yeah, true. Anywho, I think we could close off on there. Any last words? Because Luffy is your guy. All right, maybe
Luffy, my
Sanji.
man, my guy, the future Pirate King. I'm glad that I could bring my friend Hisagi along with me as we take this journey, seeing how you become the great Pirate King that you are.
All right, peace.
Peace.
Thanks to all you kings and queens for listening. To get more of the Wakanime Nation podcast by your boys Hisagi and Hook, join the nation by hitting that subscribe button and check us out on Twitter and the gram. Peace.